Welcome to BTS Lover Channel, a place where every second, every small movement, and every moment of silence from Bangtan Sonyeondan always carries a deeper meaning. Thank you for being here with us today. If you are an ARMY who still carries longing in your heart, who continues to wait patiently, and who believes that Jungkook has never truly left his fans' hearts, then this news is for you. There was no grand announcement, no magnificent stage, no concert filled with thousands of glowing ARMY bombs, just a few seconds, just a short clip. Yet within minutes, the world seemed to stop breathing. Jungkook danced. Not a full choreography performed on a global stage, not a carefully planned performance with a polished concept, just spontaneous movement, relaxed, natural. And yet, that was exactly where its power lay. That was the moment when armies around the world fell silent, staring at their screens, asking themselves, "Is this your way of telling us that you're still here, Jungkook?" In those few seconds, time itself seemed to freeze. There was no distance between idol and fan. No hierarchy, no status, no stage. Just Jungkook, his body moving to an unheard rhythm and millions of hearts trembling at the same time. To others, it may have looked like nothing more than a brief dance. But to ARMY, it was a language that needed no translation, a message without words, a quiet answer to the longing that had been buried for so long. Since Jungkook faded from the spotlight, since schedules emptied and official updates became rare, one question has continued to haunt fans. Is he okay? Does he still miss the stage? Does he still think about ARMY the way he used to? Then, without warning, that dance appeared. There was no long caption. No explanation. It was as if Jungkook deliberately let ARMY interpret it for themselves. And perhaps that was what made the moment feel so personal, so intimate, so painful yet comforting at the same time. ARMY began to notice details that might escape a casual viewer. The way Jungkook moved his shoulders, his expression calm yet filled with emotion, his gaze occasionally distant as if he were thinking about something far away. Even the simple clothes he wore became a topic of discussion. "He dances like someone who misses something deeply," one ARMY wrote. "His movements are gentle, but his heart feels heavy," another commented. "I feel like he's speaking without sound," someone else said. Within hours, the short dance clip spread across the world. Social media was flooded with reactions. Some laughed with happiness, some cried quietly. Others simply stared at their screens, unable to say anything at all. Because for true ARMY, Jungkook never dances without meaning. He has always expressed his feelings through his body. Since debut, Jungkook has been known as an idol who doesn't just show technique, but also emotion. Every movement carries a soul. Every step tells a story. And this brief dance felt different. There was no ambition in it, no pressure, just honesty. As if Jungkook was saying, "I'm still here. I still feel the same. I still hear you." Many began to wonder, was this intentional? Or just a spontaneous moment that happened to be captured? But knowing Jungkook's history, it's hard to believe that moments like this happen without meaning. Jungkook is the type who always thinks of ARMY, even in silence. He is the type who chooses to speak through small actions rather than grand words. And because of that, this short dance felt like an open letter without writing. Some fan analysts even connected the moment to Jungkook's past, to times when he said that dancing was his way of releasing emotions, that when words feel too heavy, the body moves first. Was he happy at that moment, sad, longing, or was it all mixed into one emotion? No one knows for sure, but one thing is clear. ARMY felt it. The comment sections were filled with the same sentences in countless languages. "We miss you. Thank you for showing up. This alone is enough to help us keep going." Some armies admitted they couldn't sleep after watching the video. Others replayed it again and again, trying to catch hidden meanings in every second. Some even said the dance felt like a hug from far away. And perhaps that is what touched people the most. In an entertainment world filled with noise, where everything has to be loud and spectacular, Jungkook chose silence. He chose simplicity. He chose honesty. And strangely enough, that choice made the impact even stronger. There was no press conference, No clarification. Just Jungkook dancing briefly, then disappearing back into his world. But after that, the world didn't feel the same. ARMY once again had something to hold on to. A small proof that the bond was still alive. That distance and time could not sever a connection built over years. Many began to ask, was this a sign of something more? Was Jungkook preparing something bigger? Or was this simply his gentle way of saying, I know you're waiting? There was no official answer, and perhaps none was needed. Because sometimes, a few seconds of dancing are enough to say everything. Jungkook doesn't need to shout that he misses ARMY. He doesn't need to write a long letter. He only needs to move, and ARMY understands. And when the video ended, when the screen went dark again, one feeling lingered in the hearts of millions. A feeling that was warm yet aching, happy yet full of longing. Longing for Jungkook on stage, longing for his smile under the spotlight, longing for the sound of his footsteps that once filled concert arenas. But behind that longing, a sense of belief began to grow again. The belief that Jungkook will return, that this short dance was not an ending, but a reminder. A reminder that he is still breathing alongside ARMY, still moving with ARMY, still connected, even without words. And perhaps one day, when the stage lights shine again and the music roars, ARMY will remember this moment. The day when just a few seconds of dancing made the world fall silent. The day Jungkook, once again, answered longing in his own way. Yet even after the screen went dark, even after the video ended and the music, real or imagined, faded away, the impact of those few seconds did not disappear. It lingered. It stayed. It settled quietly into the hearts of ARMY around the world, refusing to be forgotten. Because Jungkook's silence has always spoken louder than noise. For years, ARMY had grown used to seeing Jungkook everywhere, on stage, on screen, in rehearsals, in behind-the-scenes clips, laughing, sweating, pushing himself to the limit. He was always moving, always giving, always present. And then, suddenly, the movement slowed. The presence became distant. The updates became rare. The noise faded into waiting. Waiting became routine. And waiting, for ARMY, has never been easy. In that waiting, fans learned to read between the lines. A small gesture, a short appearance, a fleeting moment. Because with Jungkook, nothing has ever been meaningless. Every choice carries intention, even when it appears accidental. That is why the dance mattered. It was not loud. It did not demand attention. But it arrived at a time when ARMY needed reassurance the most, when questions had piled up quietly in the corners of the heart, when longing had become something familiar, almost heavy. Some ARMY said the dance felt unfinished, as if Jungkook stopped himself mid-thought, as if he wanted to say more but chose not to. Others felt that the brevity was the point, that he gave just enough to say, I'm okay, without revealing too much. And perhaps that balance is exactly where Jungkook stands right now, between presence and absence, between giving and protecting himself, between the world that watches him and the inner world he is still navigating. Many fans began revisiting old interviews, old live streams, old moments where Jungkook spoke about dance, about how movement helped him process emotions he couldn't name, about how his body often understood his heart before his words did. One quote resurfaced again and again across social media. A reminder that for Jungkook, dance has never been just performance. It has been expression, release, survival. So when he danced for those few seconds, ARMY didn't see choreography. They saw honesty. They saw a young man who has grown up under the world's gaze, still finding small ways to breathe freely. They saw someone who knows he is missed, and who misses just as deeply, even if he doesn't say it out loud. Time zones collapsed as fans stayed awake together. Some watched the clip late at night, alone in their rooms, headphones on, lights off. Some watched it in the morning before starting their day, letting it quietly fuel them. Others shared it with friends, family, fellow ARMY, saying only, watch this, you'll understand. And they did. Because understanding, Jungkook, has never required explanations. It has always required feeling. The world of entertainment often expects constant output, constant visibility, constant confirmation. But Jungkook has never fit neatly into those expectations. He has always moved at his own rhythm, even when the world tried to speed him up. This moment felt like that again. A gentle refusal to be rushed, a quiet insistence on authenticity. There were no promises made, no timelines given, no announcements teased. And yet hope returned, not the loud kind, not the impatient kind, but the steady kind. The kind that says, I can wait, I know you'll come back when you're ready. That is the kind of hope Jungkook inspires. Some fans worried, of course. They wondered if the dance hinted at exhaustion, at restraint, at things left unsaid. Others believed it was simply a gift, small, sincere, and unburdened by expectations. Both interpretations can exist at the same time. Because Jungkook himself exists in that in-between space. Strong, yet vulnerable. Confident, yet deeply reflective. An artist who gives everything and a human who sometimes needs to step back. And perhaps ARMY, more than anyone else, understands that now. The reaction was not chaos. It was quiet reverence. A collective pause. A moment of shared stillness across continents and languages. In a world constantly demanding more, Jungkook offered less. And somehow it felt like everything. Days passed, but the conversation did not fade. Fan edits appeared, slowing down the movement, highlighting each gesture. Essays were written. Voice notes were recorded. Some ARMY admitted they hadn't realized how much they were holding inside until that dance unlocked it. It reminded them why they fell in love with Jungkook in the first place. Not just because he is talented, not just because he is handsome, but because he feels real. Because he has never been afraid to show emotion, even when it's quiet. Because he communicates in ways that go beyond words. And in doing so, he makes others feel seen. As time goes on, this moment may become just another chapter in Jungkook's long story. Another memory among many. But for now, it stands as something rare, a reminder that connection does not require constant presence. Sometimes, it only takes a few seconds. A few seconds to reassure. A few seconds to comfort. A few seconds to say, I haven't forgotten you. And ARMY hasn't forgotten him either. They continue to wait, not with pressure, not with demands, but with trust. Trust built over years of shared moments, shared tears, shared growth. Whatever comes next, whether silence, music, stage, or something entirely unexpected, ARMY will remember this pause, this quiet answer, this small act that carried so much weight. Because when Jungkook finally returns in full, when the lights shine bright again and the crowd roars, this moment will still matter. It will be remembered as the time when he said everything, without saying anything at all. And until that day comes, ARMY will hold on to these few seconds, letting them echo softly, letting them remind everyone that even in absence, the bond remains unbroken. Because some connections don't need constant proof. They only need one honest moment to remind the world they still exist.